YouTube, it's Will from Will Development. This is my 295th weekly update. I had a bit of a long one last week. I was talking about all the new upcoming things coming out at some point, hopefully this year, most likely this year. I'm just going to throw a quick one this week, and just go over everything. I am currently avoiding back squatting for now until I get my hip and back sorted out. What I have noticed though is with relative high rep squats, they actually seem to help my back. So I may be putting them back in the program next week, maybe even the following week. Word came down the gyms are opening back up on Monday, so means new program will probably be implemented and actually written out this time. So a lot of things are still just a little up in the air right now, which is why I'm not too strong on anything just yet. But what I did earlier in the week is a lot of, and later in the week too for lower body, was a lot of unilateral work. I've been doing a lot of prehab and some rehab work too on my hip. And it seems to be helping. So far my back pain and hip pain, specifically hip pain, has gone down a lot. And I'm very happy about that and the direction that's moving. So obviously what I'm doing now is working, and so we'll just keep it that way. It's not broken, so let's not try to fix it, that sort of deal. And one of these weeks I will talk about that. And just as a side note, it's one of those things to think about, that when you have back pain, you kind of have to think about your hips too, because odds are the problem is coming from one of the two areas. Either something's just too weak in one spot, so it's not supporting the right structures properly, that is, and things of that nature. So that's sort of why I've changed my plan of attack from just doing a lot of core stability work and things like that to also adding in more hip strengthening exercises and things that are more strenuous unilaterally, where I can ensure that I'm sort of protecting myself and not getting into positions that are causing me pain. When something like this happens, you sort of have to go at it from a lot of different angles, and just if something works, you got to stick with it for a little bit and see that it continues to work. And if it stops working, you can't be afraid to sort of change your angle of approach, that sort of thing. And that's all I'm doing here. I'm not saying any of the stuff I did before when my back was feeling better, my hip was feeling better, was wrong. It's just certain adaptations obviously happened, and different pain started presenting, so I had to change the methods that I was using, which there's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't be afraid to do that. There shouldn't be like, this is the end-all be-all of rehab for X pain. There's tons of different ways to attack it and to mitigate it and hopefully fix it. So it's one of those things that I'm at right now where I'm like, I found some new methods that seem to be helping, so I'm just going to continue doing those. So with that being said, I did some lunges. Decided to do it kind of strongman style with a 90-something pound block of concrete held against my chest, which is just tough. And then did step-ups onto like a 22-inch stone. And then did my deadlifts, hit 365 for the top, which is my, my base strength that I always want to be able to hit 365 no matter what. And then pressing went really good on Tuesday. I believe it's a PR for me to have hit 3 reps strict at 260 or 165. So that was pretty exciting to be able to hit that, and I did it for 3 sets of 3. And then a bunch of other, accessory work for both the legs and the legs on Monday, and then the shoulders and triceps on Tuesday. Wednesday off, I actually had to pour a stone. Thursday, did some Zerger squats actually, and just kept playing with the foot position until everything felt right. And was able to get through like 5 sets of 5 with like 115 pounds, which isn't a lot. It's nowhere near what I'm capable of, but I wanted to take it a little easy. And it was fine. Everything felt good. The hip felt good. A lot more step-ups and more unilateral work, side lunges, that kind of thing. And then tonight was another press night. Was feeling a little burned out, but I still did sets of 3 with 160. But instead of just sort of cranking them out, I did did press and then hold overhead for a 5 count with each rep. So it felt good to be able to do that, which technically that's a PR too, with the pause at the top. And the reason I do that is just to work on the stability of the lockout position. Man, it gives you a hell of a shoulder burn too when you do that, which is it's definitely beneficial in my opinion. If something's getting sore, it probably means it was worked. So, let's work it. That's what I say. And I did some lateral raise holds and things like that. My shoulder on my left side has been feeling great the last couple of weeks. My prehab protocol is obviously working. Oh, I did hit my new base on deadlifts. It's going to be 385 because I was able to pull that on Thursday and it felt pretty damn easy. So new base is 385. Every time I deadlift, I'll try to pull that. Unless it's just totally terrible day. But that's where I want to be. So it's good. The number's slowly moving up. And then press, push press, I did, that's right, on Tuesday, I did a 5-minute, every minute on the minute with push press with the 185. So I ended up doing 5 total reps, which is the most reps I've ever done with that weight in a session. So that's a good push there. And then tonight I just did the single because I was feeling a little bit burned out, didn't want to push anything. And I felt good being able to get through that set of the 160s. So, that's what I'm talking about, the base strength. A few weeks ago that was at the 150 level. Now we're at the 160s. It's just 10 more pounds. But, if you continue that over the course of 5 years, eventually you're pushing stupid weight strict and push pressing even stupider weight. Probably next week I'll bump my push press number up to 190 and try to do that. It seems like beginning of the week's going good for me right now, so I'll probably use those. A lot of what I do is based off of sort of RPE, and then after that it's a bit of percentage work. Sometimes I'll reference and I'll go, okay, this is 80% of a projected max, so I should be doing this for 5s, that kind of thing. And just trying to push that number slowly closer up and up and up, So that's the plan with the press. Given that I don't have a squat coming up in any of the comps that are going to be coming up that I'm signed up for, I'm not overly concerned with it, but I will continue to do squatting motions best I can, whether it's with stones or zerchers, just to continue to have that movement in my programming, because it is a good movement to have, and especially zerchers, because man, nothing lights up my upper back like that. Also update, pull-ups was doing them like every single day. I believe my form of pull-ups was a factor in my shoulder pain, and now I have changed the way I do pull-ups. I'm back up to doing sets of 8 with the new form, and once again, no pain. Definitely feeling it light up my back in different ways, and I'm pretty confident in saying it's helping with my deadlift a little bit. Definitely making that initial break off the floor much more powerful. And I'm also focusing on that a little bit more too. My explosiveness just a little bit. I've been adding in some, I want to say calisthenics is the name of it. Basically just some extra little jump training and things like that. Things that won't hurt. And they'll help with my muscle recruitment and explosiveness a little bit. Because everything can be trained to a point. So it only makes sense to try to increase my ability to sort of explode a little bit better. It won't hurt at all. There was one thing I talked about last week. where I described using my homemade bamboo bar, or like my, wobbly bar. And I couldn't remember the exact name of, of training method that it is. And it's a stability exercise. There's an actual name for it. Numerous oscillation propagations create a stable environment lifter. Whole body variation. There's an actual term for it. And I can't exactly remember what it's called. I read it the other day and I went, man, I wanted to use that actual term. T-Nation's calling it hanging band training. It's just oscillating. Well, I can't remember the actual name of it, but there is an actual term for it. I wanted to sound a little more educated, but I guess I won't. But, I still stand by that as a definite pro when it comes to part of my shoulder rehab that didn't take very long to fix. So, if you can get your hands on an earthquake bar somewhere cheap, I wouldn't recommend totally investing in it, because it's not, I don't see it as something you're going to be using every week. I can see it as something as you throw in maybe like in month 1 of like training, just help work that stability. But like, I couldn't see you basing a whole program around it, just because the amount of weight you're able to use is not that great. So it's going to have some benefits, but the benefits are definitely going to taper off, in my opinion, quicker than, say, just basic barbell training. For most people, I think I would make that statement with some conviction. That's about it. Guess I just wasted your 2 minutes there. My bad. Anyway, looking forward to getting back in the gym and getting in the training environment with fellow gym goers. Hopefully, your state, your gym is opening up soon, and you can get back in action, and we can all get back to getting stronger the way we want to. And that's about it. Tune in next week for another update with hopefully some more information on comps. We'll see. And look forward to that. And if you don't get back to training, then what's your excuse?